Hello, so today I am talking about empowering your life with a single click, and it's about embracing convenience when it comes to health and wellness. Right, so my name's Cheryl Best. I'm trained as a nutritional therapist and a yoga teacher. I'm living with a few chronic illnesses, diagnosed with chronic illnesses. Two of them I would say don't really cause me much issue. One at the moment is particularly bothersome at the moment, ups and downs with it, but as I've done before, I'm going to beat this one, and I'm here to share my ups and downs with living with chronic illnesses, but also to be giving health and wellness tips as well. Right, so I tend to read and kind of I write about subjects to do with health and wellness, and so this is about a post that I've written about empowering your life with a single click. And so I will kind of be reading and also be throwing in my 2 pence worth as well based on what I've written. So if you are reading the post, it might be a good idea to also come and listen to me. So if you've like come, with most of my things, it's a good idea to also listen to me if you are tending to be finding me through my WordPress blog. So anyway, let's get to it. So we live in a world where we can access anything with a click of a button. All right, so you can just click your button and you can have whatever you want. And it's just a fantastic world in a way that we are living in. It might be deemed as being a bit lazy, so I'm going off script here. It might be deemed as being a bit lazy, but it is fantastic and it's convenient. I think that's the main thing. It's so convenient to be living in this world that we live in now, especially with the internet and being able to have things at a click of a button. So there's no need to move out of your house. Need a new outfit, order it with a click of a button, and tomorrow, well, usually tomorrow, it's with you. If you want something to eat, then you don't need to go out and buy ingredients or stand for hours to cook. And especially if you are dealing with a chronic illness, a lot of the times you do not want to be standing around because you haven't got the energy to be standing around. So don't feel guilty if you have those days where you need to have a takeout or get a takeaway. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine to do that. I know that I am a trained nutritional therapist, but that doesn't mean that I'm all about everything having to be healthy all the time. There are times when a takeaway is all you need. So I totally get that. So there's no need to be able to be having to stand around for hours on end to cook, because you can just get something at a click of a button, and you can get some very healthy stuff as well at a click of a button. And so you just click the button, pay whatever you need to pay, and hopefully again within 20 minutes, or maybe it's quite fast now delivery, isn't it, but within an hour at least you can be eating something. All right, so we've never had it so good, have we, really, when it comes to convenience. And that convenience as well could be that you are working all of the hours God sends, and you're absolutely shattered, and so coming home and having to create this meal that's going to take hours is possibly something that you do not want to be doing, or you haven't got the energy to be doing that. And so being able to have something there that you can find, a takeaway that you can get for those odd days where you're absolutely drained, then it's fantastic for things like that. Okay, so when it comes to exercise, the internet can also be great for exercise, and you don't need to step out of your house. The exercise is brought to you, and so with just a click of a button you can have a class right in front of you. And again, that's the power of living in this modern world. And this can be hugely beneficial for people that don't really like being part of a crowd. It could also be very beneficial if you are diagnosed with chronic illnesses, and the thought of having to get all your gym gear ready, and also trying to get yourself out the house and having to travel in pain, that can be really difficult as well. So the thought that you can just click a button and something can appear exercise wise right in front of you is fantastic. And so this click of a button stuff, it can seem as though we are being lazy, and as I've explained, no, it's not laziness. And especially it's not laziness if you are doing this for fitness purposes. No, it's not lazy at all. So, should you leave your house to go to a fitness centre to do exercise classes? I say no. There's no need to. You can have it right there in your living room. Yeah? And so, like I've said, if your circumstances make it quite difficult for you to leave the house, then why should you experience pain? Pain to your mind and pain to your body. Why should you experience that by having to force yourself to leave or come out of the house when it's there ready for you? Right? So it's not a lazy way. Yeah, especially if you're doing this for something good. So don't worry about feeling that you're being lazy because really you should be going to a gym, or really you should be attending a yoga class, or really I should be coming out and finding a Pilates class, or whatever it is, because you've got yoga classes, tons of them, and Pilates classes, tons of them online. Yeah, so don't feel guilty about it. And also, online fitness classes are an introvert's dream. Now, I wrote about this, about the benefits of exercise for introverts, and so I'm going to put a link to that post, because there are things that you can do on your own. And I'm saying this as a fellow introvert myself. I might not sound like I'm an introvert, but I am an introvert. I love my own space. And I do find being around people at times quite draining. And it's not that the people are draining. Sometimes it's just the environment. It's just the being kind of, especially feeling sardined in a class, where you're just stuck and feeling like you can't move. Sometimes it can feel a bit claustrophobic because I might want to move in my own kind of way, but then feeling forced that I have to do things because I'm seeing other people doing things in a certain way. So if you are an introvert, then, having access to these sort of online classes, it's an introvert's dream. All right. So, like I said, gone are the days where you have to force yourself to be around people. That doesn't have to happen these days, Gone are the days when you have to feel self-conscious because you can't do what other people can do. And this used to be a big one when I had my yoga studio. So yeah, I used to own a yoga studio, and I used to teach group classes and teach private, like one-to-one based classes. At the moment, I mean, I'm not doing any yoga at the moment, as in teaching wise. I was teaching people in their homes and going out and doing private yoga classes. But at the moment, I've not been able to do that. But the one big thing that used to happen, especially in group classes, was this kind of looking at other people, the looky-loos, and looking at other people. And then I used to get the comments come back to me where some students would be like, well, I don't think I'm suitable for this class. And I'd be like, why? And it's like, well, because I saw this person and she's doing things like this and I can't get my body to do that. And even though I would give, because the way that I used to teach with group classes is that for one posture or one exercise, I would give lots of different variations, and I would also give examples of props as well. So I used to use a lot of props. So in yoga, we have like yoga blocks and yoga straps. I used to also use chairs quite a bit as well. And so I would demonstrate different variations of ways that we could do one exercise. But sometimes the ego gets in the way. And when the ego gets in the way, it's kind of forcing you, saying, well, I need to do the most advanced thing here. And you don't need to. You just do what is right for your body. But when there's other people in the class and you're seeing that, there's Flexible Jane over here, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I want to get to what Flexible Jane's doing. I want to do what she's doing, but you can't do it yet. But in your head, you're still feeling like, okay, I need to do that. And I need to kind of compete with Flexible Jane. And you don't need to do that. I don't know why I said Flexible Jane, but that just came to my mind. But you don't need to do that. And so the benefits of having an online class is that there's nobody around to compare yourself to. You can only compare yourself to really yourself. I mean, you can compare yourself to the instructor, I suppose, or you can compare yourself if it's a group class where you can see other people, but really there's nobody else in the room. And so you can take that away from yourself, really. You don't need to feel as though, okay, I've got this person next to me and they're doing X, Y, Z, so I need to force my body to be able to do that. And no, you don't need to do that at all. All right. So that is another huge benefit of having online classes. And yes, I know we should be focusing on what we're doing. We shouldn't be really looking at other people. And a big part of yoga really is all about the self. But when it comes to a class, it can be quite, to support you, if you're that type of person, it can be quite difficult to do that when you've got 20 other people where they seem to know what they're doing and they seem to be a lot more flexible and stronger than you. And it can feel quite, you do get quite self-conscious by seeing that. And so, yeah, it can be difficult to just focus on you instead of focusing on other people. So the click of a button is not a lazy thing. I just want to keep saying that, it's not lazy at all. And with a click of a button as well, you can find a workout that is suitable for you. And this can be a difficult thing. I think this is the part that can be difficult, especially if you're not working with a person, or especially if you're not working with somebody on a one-to-one basis, is that you do probably need to trawl through a lot of online videos to find something that is right for you. But they're out there and there's tons of them. And if you've got the patience to kind of go through them, it's a good thing. And it might be beneficial that instead of you just picking out a random class or a random video that you find on YouTube, it would be a good idea to watch the video first. So watch it and think, can I do that? And if it's a huge yes, then that might be a video that you could be doing on a regular basis. I wouldn't say that you should choose a video and then a video is coming along and then you're working alongside it for the very first time. I wouldn't advise that. I would always say, watch the video first, get a feel for it, seeing if you could do some of those things, and then work with that thing on a daily or a weekly basis. You don't want to be forcing yourself to do something that could cause harm, especially, if you're a beginner to all of this kind of stuff. All right. So there's tons of classes on YouTube, and I've said we've got fitness classes on tap. And the benefits is that no one can watch you and you can't watch them either. So it's just you. And you know, the huge thing about fitness classes, especially if it's in your home, is that you don't need to be wearing the latest attire. You know, when you go to the gym, and I mean, I was going to the gym last year, so it's 2024. We are in July now. For about 6 months. So I've had a flare up of my back. So that's why I'm not being able to teach yoga or do anything really for the last few months. But I was attending the gym, and people there of all ages, but you know, you get youngsters there with the body, you know, the body beautifuls that are there. And some of the outfits, wow, my. You do see some lovely outfits when you're going there. And you know, I'll just rock up in my things that I've been wearing for the past 10-15 years, which possibly won't be deemed as being fashionable, but I'm rocking up like that. And for me, I don't care. I really couldn't care what I look like. I was going to the gym with my daughter, who's a teenager. And so, you know, she has got the body beautiful, and she'll be going there with the, you know, certain gym gear on. And then I would like rock up with whatever I'm going out in, and she'd kind of turn to me and say, "Mum, you're not going to the gym looking like that, are you?" So, she doesn't want me to be an embarrassment to her. But yeah, when it's in your house, you don't need to impress anyone, do you? You do not need to impress anyone. You can wear your lovely, comfy house clothes. And so, you know, you've got those sweatpants that you've probably had since like 1995 with the holes in them, you know, those kind of sweatpants. And you can't part with them because they're just so comfortable, aren't they? I've got those. You can hear the passion in my voice. I've got those kind of clothes where I just love them. I can't get rid of them. They're probably about 25 years old and they look dreadful, but they're so comfortable. Well, you know, those clothes, you can wear those in your home and nobody is around to see you wearing them, and you can exercise in comfort. Okay. And I know you've got a pair of those kind of like sweatpants. So I know you have. So that's another great thing as well. You don't need to be dressing up as such. You don't need to make sure that you've got your brand names, sporting gear on. You know, you can be wearing whatever you want. So there's no excuse, absolutely no excuse, because you can wear your clothes that have got loads of holes in them. All you need to do is move your furniture around, possibly, you know, if you've got quite a congested, say, living room, or I don't know, if you're doing your workout in your bedroom, just move things around a little bit, and that's your gym. That is your fitness center. You don't need to go anywhere. So no excuse, right? Go and get some movement in your life. And remember, it's just a click of a button now. There's no excuse. There's tons of things that we can be doing. Right, so I will finish it up right there. So I hope you do go and think about that. Think about, well, yeah, there's no excuse. I could go and do something. And, you know, there's a lot of like 10-minute workouts online. You don't need to be forcing yourself to do an hour class, because, you know, that's a big thing. A lot of classes are like 60 minutes or 45 minutes. Some yoga classes are usually 90-minute classes. And, you know, a lot of things, when I used to teach one-to-ones especially, I used to always start off my one-to-one students with 30 minutes. And, you know, I could see in their minds, like, 30 minutes, what's the point? But then once we'd start getting going, they were like, oh my gosh, I did actually think, Cheryl, is 30 minutes enough? And then they would say, do you know what, 30 minutes is just enough, thank you very much. And then they would understand, okay, there's a reason why she's starting me off on 30 minutes. Because especially if you are going to a fitness or going to the gym or whatever it is, especially if you're going with chronic illnesses. And a lot of the people that I would have with yoga classes, especially one-to-one students, they were coming because they had spinal injuries. Some of them had issues with their hips. Some of them had hip replacements. There was a whole host of reasons, some people with MS. And so for me to just kind of straight away make these people do 60 minutes of exercise, of yoga, physical movement, it was way too much. And so for a long time, it would be that we started off with the 30 minutes. And then I would always say, when you feel ready, and when I can see that you're feeling a lot stronger, let's see if we can do a bit more. Let's see if we can push this to maybe 40, 45 minutes. And then we'd get to the stage where, you know, the student would come to me and say, you know what, Cheryl, I feel quite good now with this 30 minutes, because, yeah, 30 minutes was a struggle for me 6 months ago, but now I'm ready to do 45 minutes. And then we'd do the 45 minutes, and then they'd say, okay, let's shoot for an hour now. And that could take a year. So, you know, 60 minutes for a lot of people, 60, 90-minute classes, sometimes 2-hour classes, or attending the gym for 60 minutes can be way too much for a lot of people, way too much. So the beauty of online classes is that you can choose the duration. It might even be 5 minutes. You know, you've got a lot of these HIIT classes, high intensity training classes, which some of them are only 5 minute long classes. And that might be what you need just to get started. Yeah. So don't feel that you need to find this great big lengthy class, because you don't need that. You know, I'm a big advocate as well of these very tiny kind of workouts, especially if you're new to exercise, where, you know, it's probably more beneficial for you to be doing 10 minutes of exercise every single day than you to be shooting for an hour of exercise once a week. You know, it might seem that, okay, it's exactly the same thing, but it's not. It's very different. It's more about consistency as well when it comes to exercise. I'm going way off script here. So yeah, anyway, go out there, have a look online and see what you can find. Like I said, watch the video first. Don't feel like you need to get everything prepared and just do everything with the video, especially if it's your first time. Watch it first, get a feel of it. And is this right for me? Yes or no? If it is, then that will be the video for you. If it's not, keep going and trawling through YouTube or wherever you're going to be looking for your fitness class, and keep going for it. But yeah, it's not lazy. It's not lazy at all. You're doing a lot of good for your body, and you do not need to leave your house. You can be doing things, you can be doing fitness, you can be doing exercise in the comfort of your living room. Right, I will finish it up there. So you have a fantastic day. I will be back on here very, very soon. You take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.